just got Jackson to beat. Oh, he's ticked it over the top of him. And Son. Henri, chance, goal!
He may be cast in bronze, but he's still capable of producing truly golden moments.
Hello, it's Ollie One-Roddy here with Arsenal Talk, and yes, we're back for the new summer season, looking at transfers, all the latest gossip and scandal going on with Arsenal. I'm sorry I haven't really done any videos during the season. I was in my last year of uni and lots of work to do, so I haven't had a chance. But now I've got a lot of free time. I'm going to look at all the news that's going on with Arsenal, and we're going to go into it in great detail in these videos. Today's video is really just a review of the last season, how it's gone, how players coming in and out have affected us. Just in general, I'm going to be talking about that. So first things first, look at last year. We'll look at the Premier League table from the 2011-2012 season, compare it to how we did this year. First thing to note, really, we obviously got more points this year, 3 more points. Not a huge deal, but I mean it's a win, isn't it? Secondly, to note, we were in a lower position this year. Obviously we got more points, so maybe that's telling us more about what the teams around us have done. But I think what's also important is that last year we managed to get more points off the teams around us. This year we've only really beaten Tottenham. And other than that, we've not really got a result against Man City, Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham or Everton. Not any great deal that we can be proud about. So I think that that's obviously an area we're going to need to improve on next season. It's one of those situations where you can't win the league without being able to compete against those teams, because they're the fine margins that it comes down to. Obviously this season Man United won it quite considerably, but with the departure of Ferguson next season, maybe Man U will be a bit unstable. They're not going to quite have that all-round strength. I think next year's title's very much up for grabs. I'm not suggesting that Arsenal are one of the front runners to win it, but you know, certainly if it's up for grabs, if we're going to enforce during the summer, as much of the speculation's been suggesting, then there's a good chance that, you know, maybe there'll be some competitive level that Arsenal can throw in this season. Maybe, if not in the league, in the cup competitions, in which case we're still going to need to improve on playing against those better teams. So we will see. The one thing that I think that we did really well this season was we got 12 less goals conceded than we did last season. Now, it doesn't sound like a huge deal, but 12 goals is actually quite considerable. If you think of it in terms of 38 games, it's about 1 goal every 3 games. Again, doesn't sound that great, but if a goal scorer was scoring 1 more goal every 3 games, or if we as a team had scored 1 more goal every 3 games, we'd be going on about it. But you know, because it's conceded, it's kind of considered less important, but it is really important, and it's been talked about a lot now the season's over, that the partnership with Koscielny and Mertesacker in the middle has been a really good defensive partnership. It's been really solid. Steve Bold clearly making that effect, changing it into more of a George Graham style of defending, of people understanding each other, covering each other, and it's really helped us. So I think that's definitely a positive. I think that's something I really hope we see next season, because although we've been slightly less effective in attack, not too less effective, we've only scored 2 less goals this season than we did last season, but I think it's really important how we've been able to defend games. I mean, we've had so many 1-0s this season, and that's something, as an Arsenal supporter, you look historically over the last 4 or 5 years, a 1-0 is just something we don't do. I mean, usually we either throw away a game, you're winning 1-0 for 80 minutes and then concede 2 in the last 5, or we go on to score 3 or 4 goals and concede a couple, and that's not how it's been this season. You know, we've grinded out results, which is something we've lacked in our game for the last few years, and I think the experience that Wenger's brought in last summer, and you know, past years as well, kind of attributed, players like Arteta, Mertesacker, and then I'll move on to our other signings in a bit. But you know, I think it's really brought solidity into the back, and I think that means that defence is one of those things where the less you talk about your defence, the better they're doing. You know, if you haven't got, you only talk about defence when there's problems. You never say, "Oh, that defence is playing brilliantly," because that's not what defence does. A defence is just there to stop goals. So as long as that's what they're doing, which they have, then that means we don't have to worry about that. And this summer we can focus on improving our attack, getting chemistry between our attacking players. As I was just saying, Podolski, Giroud and Cazorla have had a really good start to the season. A lot of people are criticising Giroud, but I personally think he's had a great start for a player that's never played in a league as competitive as the Premier League. He's, you know, really come to the plate. He's getting involved in those aerial battles. He's setting up a lot of goals. I think he's got about 10 assists this season. He's got about 16, 17 goals in all competitions. You know, it's a good start. And Podolski as well, not been too effective, but a player we can definitely see come into the fray next season as well. Cazorla obviously had a fantastic season. I reckon he's only going to build on that next season. But yeah, I mean, things are looking good. I think this season was a solid performance as opposed to a spectacular performance. And sometimes you do need to set the foundations before you can go on and do great things. So, this season I don't think was a complete disaster, no trophies again, but my personal opinion is that it was showing a lot of good things, considering they're things we've lacked for a long time, and there are things that you need to win titles. I'd just like to move on now. Robin Van Persie obviously went to Man United. Now, a lot of people hating on him. To be honest, I don't think we can afford to hate on Robin, because I know that he was made of glass for us for 6 years and we stood by him, and I know it hurts when a player goes to one of your rivals, but at the same time the guy wanted to win titles. He was the top scorer in the Premier League. He won the title in the first year away. I mean, I'm not a Robin Van Persie fan by any means, but I think you've got to kind of leave off him a bit now. I think we've got to stop worrying about what he's doing, and I think we've got to start worrying about what we're doing and saying, well, we've made up quite a few of his goals, but are we going to need to make up more, which I think we will? Are we going to need to find that striker in the summer? That's what we need to move on now. So, you know, Robin, that's fine. You've won your stuff. You've done what you wanted to do. You're not our problem anymore. We don't want to talk about you. And on that note, here's a picture of him getting kicked in the face, which I thought you'd all like. Which is brilliant, because the player who actually kicked the ball in his face was Ashley Williams, who Arsene Wenger is now contemplating signing this summer. Wenger troll. Which means now all you have to do to start up front for Arsenal next season is stab Adebayor in a bar fight, or, you know, just kick an ex-Arsenal player in the nads, and you might be up for the running. And Arsene Wenger just go, I think that he's very good. He's showing pure passion because he wants to, as you say, inflict injuries on the opponents. But whatever. Last thing of this video, I just wanted to quickly mention Andrei Arshavin, who's retiring at the end of this season. Sad case, Andrei. Obviously a player of great talent. It's really sad that he hasn't really been able to force his way back into the starting positions. He was really good for us when he joined. You know, he was our star player really in that kind of energetic sense, attacking sense. It was really beautiful to watch. So yeah, best of luck to Andrei in whatever he does now. I hope that, although obviously he hasn't played fantastically for us recent couple of years, that, you know, as we do with Eduardo and as we do with Fabregas, we support our ex-players in what they do next. You know, he never said a bad word about the club, always, you know, seemed to give his all when he was on the pitch, and let's be honest, not many players are retiring from Arsenal now, so just want to say thank you very much, Andrei. Best of luck to you. So that's all I'm going to do for today. My next video is going to be on a transfer rumour. I've got a few that I'm going to do. I might bring out a couple of videos at once. But yeah, I'm sorry for the big gap. There are going to be more coming your way, so please let everyone know about my videos. Like, subscribe and comment below, and I'll look at your comments and see if there are any discussion points there to bring up in later videos. Thanks a lot for watching. Goodbye.